Cold open question of the week, Kaz.
What's up, Shoes?
What's up, man?
It's good,
Who,
buddy.
on any given day in Chicago, Illinois, where 10,000 sports fans are gathered, who gets the biggest pop? Michael Jordan, Mike Singletary, CM Punk, or AJ Lee?
Damn. I'm still gonna go with Michael Jordan, but Chicago loves them some AJ Lee. She's not even from Chicago.
She lives in Chicago.
So here's my thing, right? Does Punk has to be the de facto number 2 because she's not a Chicago resident. She's just married to the guy that everybody in Chicago loves. She's not a Chicago hometown homebred.
Yeah, but she chose Chicago. I mean, there's some people that think, you move there, you make that your home. That's a great deal, right?
All right, but okay, so
well, here, let me just ask you the basic. Let me just ask you the most straightforward version of this.
Okay.
Was AJ's pop on Friday bigger than any pop CM Punk's ever received in Chicago?
No. No. It was a massive pop, but that post-war games CM Punk return pop is still I don't know. I don't really know how to describe that. That's still kind of different. I think there was a little bit of steam taken out of it just because we all kind of knew this was coming.
Mm-hmm.
We all kind of knew it was coming. And even Punk saying, no, you'll let them chant the name AJ Lee. And there's something about not really saying it until it happens that kind of takes not a ton of steam, but takes a little tiny bit of steam out of it. You got to let them... I don't want to get too graphic here, but you got to give them a little foreplay before, go all the way. You know what I'm saying? Gotta wet the whistle, There's ways to tease. There's ways to say it without straight up saying the name Asia. Let the crowd chant it. Chant it. But I don't know. I guess that shows how powerful CM Punk is in Chicago. I could spoil the name and spoil the return. And still, you're going to go nuts as soon as she comes out. And they did. And it was awesome. Yeah. And we all felt 12 again. So it was fantastic.
Were you 12 when AJ Lee was wrestling?
No, but I'm giving it for our listeners because I'm assuming they're all a little bit younger than me. But it does kind of shock you how long ago AJ Lee was gone.
Because Punk was gone for... I know I should have this at my fingertips. Punk was gone for 7 years, but 10 years from WWE. So AJ's been gone for 10 plus now, 11 years, right? Just totally out of wrestling.
Yeah.
Pretty incredible. That was one of the all-time great pops. I take back anything even borderline uncertain I said about her return.
How dare you? How dare the lot of y'all?
Wait for the theme song before you start criticizing me. All right, let's just start the show. Welcome to the Masked Man Show. Before we get started, before I let Kaz talk again, we are officially, that Kaz has been bothering everybody by saying that John Cena is the greatest of all time.
Because he is.
We are officially, I said before I let you talk, but we are officially, we are officially going to do the GOAT bracket on the Masked Man Show.
Yeah.
I think we're going to do 48 wrestlers. This is American wrestling Hulkamania to the present.
Yes.
Right? 1980, the Hulk pins Sheik to the present day.
For our demographic, you mid to late 30 and early 40s, mid 40-year-olds, the guys who've watched just enough wrestling from cable television on, this is for y'all, okay?
We're doing the GOAT. We're trying to figure out who the GOAT is, so we're doing an official bracket. I think it's going to be 40.
Why don't we do the GOATs? Instead of the greatest of all time, the greatest of our time. So we don't have to be we have to factor in folks that were fucking before we were even born. So instead of the GOATs, call it the GOOTs. The best wrestlers of the last 40 years.
We can come up with something better than both of those.
I like the GOOTs. The GOOTs is hilarious.
Oh my God. All right. the goat, the whatever. Greatest American wrestler, or greatest wrestler, pro wrestler in America, 1983 to the present. Send in your nominees. Tweet your nominees to @Ringer Wrestling to make sure that if they're deserving, they will make it into the original bracket. We're going to start this bracket on Thursday, and I have no idea how it's going to go. But by God, if John Cena ends up winning this thing, I retire.
Don't worry, I will do my best.
I love John Cena. I hope to be convinced. I'll just say this: I hope that whoever wins, I feel great about it. Anyway, tweet us your nominees. Let's start the show. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good, Shoes. How about yourself, man?
I am great. That was an incredible SmackDown. We got other stuff to discuss too. Actually, there were a couple of big returns for wrestling fans this week and in previous weeks. We got the end of John Cena's final return. That was announced. We'll talk some about that. AJ Lee returned. There were some big returns on AEW this week, right?
A guy by the name of Brock Lesnar.
Oh yeah, Brock Lesnar return
on TV.
Big Bill called out Eddie Kingston, so there's a big return coming. But I think the most important return of the entire week is that it's just been announced that Hulk Hogan's Rockin' Wrestling is going to be on. It's no new episodes, but it's going to be on the WWE Vault soon. So that's big for me, man. That was a huge part of my childhood.
You want to talk about programming news that's big for us? Just announced 2 minutes ago. Raw moves to 7 p.m. starting next week, 7 p.m. Eastern time. So,
oh really?
Shout out to our washed folks that could use that extra hour of sleep. Yeah, they just announced it just now.
That's great.
That is fantastic.
It's a little bit easier. I don't know about you. It's a little bit, with little kids, it's a little bit easier to like, the earlier it's on, it's a little bit easier to like sneak it on.
It is.
In the house. 8 o'clock is like, oh, we got to start thinking of putting the kids to bed. And then all of a sudden it's like 9 o'clock and you're like, your wife's sitting down to watch a show and you're like, can we watch wrestling instead? But no, but at like 7, you could just sort of, it's on in the background. And then you get everybody watching it. So big fan of that.
Big fan of it. Anytime Raw is earlier, I'm happy. Especially, absolutely. You're going back up into Monday Night Football, I think that was the big, in my opinion anyway, that's probably one of the bigger benefits of going on Netflix. It's like, you can kind of adjust the times a little bit, not have to compete head up with that behemoth known as Monday Night Football on ESPN. So that's all good. Last week was really interesting, man, because I feel like there's lots of conversations around our Cena and Flair arguments, and lots for, lots against, and I love those combos. So Dave, I want to lean more into these hot takes and these hot thoughts. And I know we had a plan and we're going to go through all these type of stuff, but I had a hot take I've been thinking about all week long.
Oh, you got one ready?
I got one ready, Dave. I got one ready. This is my hot take for the week.
Have at it.
Let's have at it. All week long, all month long, really. There's been all these discussions about WWE and counter programming and, All Out versus WrestlePoolza, and like WWE just stacking their cards. And then obviously you get the big AJ Lee return and the big Brock Lesnar return and all this type of stuff. And it got me thinking, I'm like, what is the one thing AEW could ever do to, I don't want to say save the company because that seems too dire, but what's the one move AEW could pull off that would make sense, that's realistic, that would legitimately get them back to in the fight between AEW and
Do you have an answer for this?
I have an answer for this. I have an answer. There is one and only one goal.
Sting versus Flair, one last time.
The one thing you can do, AEW, to make this a fair fight once again, you have to do everything in your power.
Bring in The Rock?
To steal Cody Rhodes back.
Oh, Cody, okay.
From WWE.
I was going to say Punk coming back was my first jokey thought, but now with AJ there, it's kind of set.
Nah, but I think the Cody story, and I think a lot of people don't really give it enough emphasis. Like, the entire Cody story, from him leaving AEW to what people argue was his involvement in creating the company and all this type of stuff. I always felt like the actual real deal story is what Cody's true legacy is. I mean, remember how many people when Cody first signed to WWE and he run the Royal Rumble and he like saluted the Bullet Club at the top of the joint when he was pointing to the WrestleMania sign, and everybody's like, "Oh man, this is gonna be Cody's big coup, right? Like he's gonna go to WWE." And then he's going to return back to AEW one day as like the conquering hero, the guy who like slain the tribal chief and won the title and became the man and all this type of stuff. I truly believe if AEW, if there was ever a big move that they could make, I don't know what you do. I don't know how you do it. I don't know how possible it is. But like I told Benjamin Cruz when I was talking to him about this on the group chat, I said, yo, even Luka got traded. Nothing's impossible. Like things
don't remind me, but yes, that's true.
But you know, I just feel like it would be the move that would be the most consequential in wrestling that can actually hurt WWE and immensely help AEW. Like he's the most important cog in that piece of what a lot of people believe the early vibes of AEW being a true threat to WWE were. And a lot of people don't want to give him I don't know what it is with people and Cody Rhodes' like involvement in creating AEW, where there's always like never a clear story on like how much he was involved. When did he sign the paper? Why is it even important? Like we all watched the Being the Elite videos. We all watched like Cody go from like, you know, the brown-haired American Nightmare with the leather jacket to the fully fleshed out version that we eventually saw in WWE. Like we all saw this, right? But if there was any typical free agent move, like if Tony Khan has like a limitless amount of bread and something goes wrong in WWE, like fucking Cody and Nick Khan have a big falling out or whatever, or something happens, and like that is the last little beacon that can truly make AEW and WWE competition. And I will double down on my hot take. They will never be looked at as true competition until a move like that happens. Like they need.
Well, then he's not the only one. I mean, even if you take Punk off the table for whatever reason.
I don't even think Punk works. I don't think Punk works.
What about Roman Reigns?
I don't think Roman works. Like I don't think, because Roman is such a. It would almost be like Mercedes going to WWE. It's like Sasha Banks is such a WWE creation that he would still have to start over as Roman Reigns or start over as Joe and Wahi or whatever. Like Punk, the Punk vibes are different. He's a little bit up in age. I don't necessarily see him signing another pro wrestling contract after this. Like I could see him like graduating into whatever like backstage producer executive role that they probably have waiting for Punk at the end of his career. Cody's the right age and the right sort of like prime of his career, and still has probably a little bit more time after whatever run that he has right now, that if something went wrong in WWE's handling of Cody or something, that is literally the only move AEW can make to make it look like they were head up with WWE.
I mean,
again.
Okay.
Your thoughts, Dave.
I mean, you're defining things in a pretty specific way. The only big free agency move to get that kind of like not mainstream, but like industry attention.
Yes.
Yeah, maybe.
Like there has to be a move. There has to be. There's been so much AEW to WWE. Like the only WWE to AEW move that I think even moves the needle for them ever again is Cody going back and finishing that entire story.
I mean, it feels like there's so many guys in WWE that we think of as lifers, but like if we're just talking purely hypothetical, it'd be a big deal if they got Lesnar or Randy Orton or Kevin Owens. You're shaking your head.
It wouldn't, because they got Adam Copeland and they got like Lashley and they got like all of these great guys who were like awesome in WWE, and you would think that were lifers. And like, they're doing all right in WWE and AEW, but like they're ultimately always remembered as WWE guys. And even as Cody, as locked in as he is, as this version of the American Nightmare, like he will always be a foundational piece to AEW, no matter how people look at him.
I'm gonna fantasy book another option for you.
Okay, what's the other option?
We'll let listeners chime in.
Okay,
see if you guys think there's somebody else, who would it be? Let me fantasy book another solution. You hear they announced Cena's last match, right? You heard it here first, listeners of the Masked Man Show. You don't have to get out there and like spread the gospel, but just so you know, we've been talking about Cena wrestling his last match in DC for like 9 months now.
mm-hmm.
So it's going to be December what? December 18th, 13th?
I think December 12th, the 13th.
December 12th.
I think it's early to mid-December, yeah.
Saturday night's main event, right? Or is it a PLE?
It looks like it's going to be a Saturday night's main event, if I had to guess, but it hasn't been officially announced. It just says John Cena's last match on the
So
calendar.
John Cena's last match. A lot of different thoughts about where this could go. But part of me thinks that because he's running through the whole like greatest hits album already, like he's doing all the moves that has beat him in the past, moves of his greatest opponents, like all that kind of stuff. It would kind of, I don't know, it takes away a little bit of the shine if it were that his last match was against one of his legendary opponents, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like you would be, if it were me, I would be saving all that move for move greatest hit stuff for the time for actually facing that dude, whoever that is.
Okay.
And if you look at the way Cena's wrestled his career and even wrestled since his comeback, he sort of wants to check every box. I think that the rightful circle way for him to end it is to end it the way that he started it, to have somebody come out and have the ruthless aggression to put him down. You know, they'd be like him versus Angle, except in this case, I think I would book Cena to lose.
Mm-hmm.
If you look at the entire company,
mm-hmm.
This is a separate subject, but I am going to come back to what we were talking about. If you look at the entire company, who would you put in the place as the new version of Cena, first big match Cena? Who is the future of the company guy that you could actually imagine beating John Cena in maybe their first match, their first big time match?
There's only 2 available, and they're both in NXT right now.
Yep. Go ahead.
Either Obafemi or Trick Williams.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the only 2.
Trick, you make the case because people have compared him to John Cena and everything else. I think Obafemi is the right choice.
Mm-hmm.
And you could see a world where they sort of let him wind down. Maybe he still has the NXT title belt, then comes up and beats John Cena. John Cena has an open challenge. Obafemi comes up and Obafemi wins. Like that would be a huge, huge moment, right? So, but it could be either of them. I'm just going to say Obafemi for the sake of argument.
I think Obafemi probably is.
That's where I would lean.
Obafemi probably makes the more impactful debut just because he has more of that, oh shit.
Yeah.
You're dead sort of entrance. You know
and Trick has had some sort of, main roster adjacent appearances and everything else. But I think Obafemi, between the two of them, like, you don't need to know any more than what he shows you walking to the ring.
Yep.
Like that sort of gets enough across. So I think that there's a lot of potential there. But listen, let's just say that word comes out from Dave Meltzer or Sean Sapp or somebody that Obafemi is the guy, that they're penciling him in. They want it to be a surprise, but he's penciled in as seen as the opponent for Cena's last match, right?
Yes.
Everybody starts getting hyped. You start seeing him wind down his NXT duties, et cetera, et cetera. So everybody knows that on December 13th, it's going to be Obafemi versus John Cena at Saturday night's main event in DC. John Cena's last match. John Cena, the people are probably going to be thinking John Cena is going to put this guy over, right? Except December 12th on Dynamite, Obafemi walks through that, rocks down that ramp. NXT belt in hand, throws it in the trash. Would that be bigger than Cody Rhodes rejoining the company?
No, it would not.
Really?
It would not.
Put yourself in a Monday Night Wars headspace. That could be pretty huge.
It could be huge. It would be some diabolical timing. But I still believe Cody's not just the fact that he left AEW. Like if I'd never picked up a dirt sheet and I just watched Cody's story from my TV, it would look like he was the man in AEW, but wasn't the man, went to the big show, undisputably became the guy.
Mm-hmm.
And he's bringing and he could walk into any wrestling company now as the legitimate biggest, baddest dude there is, because he beat all the biggest, baddest dudes in the company that he just left. And, you know, and this is his company. This is, he has a big part of the creation of AEW. So it's like that sort of homecoming, that sort of like, you know, Rob Peter to feed
listen,
Paul
everybody understands
sort of
why Cody going back would be a big deal.
Yeah. So I'll say this. If it's not open, okay, back to Cena. My other thought, and it's such a freaking, maybe I'm crazy, maybe I'm not. If it's not Obafemi, if it's not Trick Williams, it's in Washington, D.C. You're thinking of all Americans. You're thinking of America. Am I nuts for thinking Kurt Angle is going to be his last match?
Yes. I don't think he's working. I don't think he's working his neck injuries, his hands constantly shaking.
But it's like, what if it's just like, what if they don't bump at all? What if they just grapple? like straight up, just a straight up, you know, wrist lock, gut wrenches, like all this type of bells and whistles to avoid Kurt from hitting the floor. But is there anything poetic about John Cena walking out on DC on his last match, and then freaking you hear the and out comes Kurt Angle? Yeah,
would that be a big enough?
Kurt has to be involved somehow in the last match. He has to be involved somehow. Maybe he doesn't wrestle, but he has to like either walk the guy out that he's going to wrestle, or he has to be the last.
You think
person
Kurt Angle, because he was the first big match?
Yes, because he was the first guy, the first ruthless aggression dude. What makes you think you have what it takes to go up against the Olympic gold medalist? Ruthless aggression. Boom. Like if they don't, they have to end that. Because, you know, even Kurt has said how much she hated the way his career ended without necessarily having that last thing with John Cena. So that you could kill two birds with one stone there and give Kurt a nice, you know, the satisfying ending that he probably wanted. Cena probably gets the satisfying ending he wanted. Probably deep down inside, that's who he wants to be across from the way before he leaves, you know. Am I crazy for thinking Kurt Angle is involved in the last? He's been talking a lot. Crazy. He's been talking a lot more recently about, you know, how he felt like his best stuff was in TNA, and you know he'd love to be able to work if his knees weren't shot and all this type of stuff. But we've seen crazier things, man. Like we've seen people talk all these things and be in interviews, but all the while they're working out and getting that German, you know, stem cell treatment, and all of a sudden, like they come back out the chamber and it's like, holy crap, he looks like he could go one more time, you know? So I don't know. I think if I'm throwing a shot in the dark, I feel like Kurt Angle is going to be involved somehow in this possibly DC last match with John Cena.
I mean, it wouldn't shock me just because he was the first match, but I don't think he's the. I mean, I don't know. I don't think that. I mean,
I just love to see him there, even if he doesn't wrestle.
Okay,
I would just love to see
it in the
him
crowd
there.
Or something would make more.
Give him the entrance. You're in Washington D.C. I want to hear them horns. I want to see them stars and stripes. I want to hear people say "you suck," all that type of stuff. Like,
listen, I love you. I love you suck chance as much as the next guy. I don't know. But yeah, we don't have that long to go. Do you think we're going to look back and say that the heel run, John Cena's heel run, was a mistake?
I don't think it was a mistake because I was in that crowd at MetLife, and you know, granted, me personally, and I'm gonna take a little bold prediction here. Those heels for John Cena promos are gonna age so well.
I think you're. I think you're right.
Those Cena promos were gold, and I know he's been very self-deprecating about them, saying like, "Oh, I didn't do well," and all this type of stuff. I'm like, no, Cena. We've heard you be the good guy for almost 20 years, and for at least 4 months, you got to tell people how you really felt about them for a little bit. And me personally, I thought that could be cathartic. And I think even storyline-wise, it makes a little sense. It's like, you know what? You all wanted me to be a heel so badly. You finally got it. And I pretty much told you what was going to happen if I ever turned heel. And he was right. Like,
yeah,
everybody was freaking right. So I don't think that was really fault of Cena on how he was received as a heel towards the end of this run. But I definitely think, now being in that crowd in MetLife when he brought the colors back, and there's certain things that you wouldn't appreciate about this last run if you didn't get those shitty first couple of months. First off, the Elimination Chamber match was
I think it would have been a real boring 9 months if it weren't for the heel turn, whether or not it was a success on its own merits.
I mean, listen, the rump. All right, so if we're talking about the heel turn was what, 3 months, maybe 4, not that long of a time. But the Royal Rumble was great showing. Elimination Chamber was a great showing up into and the actual turn itself, I still think was one of the great turns of all time. We'll always remember that freaking face that Cena makes of The Rock and all this. Like, no matter what you think about what happened afterwards, that actual moment, stamp that. That's going to be there. That's going to be the signature for years to come. Whatever. But was I a fan of every one of those matches ending with a nut shot and a belt shot? Not really. Like, was I a fan of,
welcome to WWE, man.
Was I a fan of the black screen walking down and with his back to the crowd? No, but what did we get in that heel run? We got those great promos overseas. We got the brand new intro with the Never Seen 17 gracing such and such town for the final time, which I think is awesome. And the first time he came out with those colors was the first time in 23 years of watching John Cena. I was in a stadium and he had 100% of that crowd. I don't think we ever get a 100% crowd of John Cena without the bumblings of that heel turn. Like, if it was just Cena through and through the rest of the time, like, man, we might have got a good story. Maybe we could have got can he still hang with the greats and overcoming the odds and give him a Rocky story? I'm sure it would have been cool, but I think we probably would have been a little bit more critical of that than we are of where we are right now, which is from SummerSlam on, nobody wants to see this guy go. He's putting on probably the best matches of his career now. Those reactions that he's gotten are reactions that he's worked his entire career to get. Like, he was probably universally loved, like, for like a handful of moments of the end of the rapper Thugonomics Cena, as he was like, ending that JBL feud or whatever. But like from then on, the split became bigger and bigger. It was from like 90-10 to like 80-20. And then it was straight up 50-50 for like 18 years straight. We don't get those 100% we love you, Cena, don't go chants and reactions without this heel turn. So I don't think it was bad. I just look at it as a necessary evil in this last run. Like, it was necessary. Like, he had to do these type of things for us to truly appreciate it and for those moments to really stick the way it is. So, and it's not over yet. Like, the ending of it could make up for whatever happened in that heel run that people didn't really like. So, like, we're still in the midst of it. It's hard to really just say, the heel run was a waste of time, because we don't know how they're going to plan to stick this landing with John Cena's career. And if it's something that feels like it's worth it at the end, maybe we don't even talk about that heel run. But for as much as people shit on it, right? Like, the Punk match was great. Love the Punk match. The Orton stuff was pretty cool, and the R-Truth stuff was what it was, right? Like, I
wish we got more of it. I wish they tied in R-Truth's fire, whatever. It was already over by the time that R-Truth got interested. So that's just unfortunate. I mean, you wish you had a few more dates from John Cena. He could have actually finished out that storyline with R-Truth in a sort of respectful way, and then he could have, I mean, it's now that we're actually looking at the end of his run, the actual goodbye. It seems crazy. It seems way too soon. We need more John Cena.
Man, well, I don't want him to go.
What would you rather have? John Cena extending his run through WrestleMania? Or do we know what AJ Lee's contract is? John Cena
I think it's a
is
multi-year contract. I think she's
John
in,
Cena.
she's
Would
in
you
it.
rather have 4 more months of John Cena or 4 more years of AJ Lee?
Nah, just 4 more months of Cena. As much as
You
Cena's leaving
sexist
me.
piece of trash.
No, man. Like, the best things about stuff is that they eventually end. That's the best things about them, man. Like, they're great because they're only there for a limited amount of time. And as great as I'm starting to enjoy this here, like the match with Sami Zayn this past Friday on SmackDown, oh, God, it's like, what a perfect opponent, and what a, like, first off, ties into our booing baby faces conversation because Sammy got booed out the building. And,
challenging John Cena?
For challenging John Cena. But I'm glad that he's hanging him up. I'm glad that, he's walking away and not limping away or being stretchered away. Like, for now, I'm glad that, like, he's getting the real sports star Kobe, Tom Brady retirement tour treatment, man. The Derek Jeter treatment. Like, we don't get that in wrestling. Like, here's the thing. I don't like seeing wrestlers wrestle forever. Like, there's wrestling fans, I think sometimes can be like, we're real freaking selfish and feel like
they literally chant "fight forever." I mean,
like, I don't know, man. Like, I had this conversation with one of my wrestling buddies a while back, and I was just like, once you get to know these people, know that they're human, like, you understand that, like, I appreciate everything that they do in the ring, especially when they're going out there and trying to, like, innovate new ways to hurt themselves for our entertainment. But at the end of the day, I want them to walk away from it. At the end of the day,
in one piece.
Yeah. Like, at the end of the day, like, I like seeing people getting over without having to kill themselves to do it. So, like, I'm super happy when Jey Uso could come out and just do this for 30 minutes and people go nuts and they're going to go home happy, as opposed to the guy who has to, like, freaking fall on his neck 30 times a match to get people to cheer him. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I'm glad that this run is ending the way it is. I wish more wrestlers ended the runs the way it is. I get it. Not everyone's John Cena. Not everyone's worthy of that sort of send-off and stuff like that. I think AJ Styles was sort of, like, hinting on Instagram this week about his time, wrapping up soon too. But it's just like, I hope.
Yeah, it looks like
Cena,
he's done just post Rumble, right around the Rumble time, which would make sense as when he debuted, right?
Yeah, that's what it looks like. So I would hope that Cena starts to set a precedent of, like, closing the chapter on the way, that you would want it to close. I mean, wrestlers are making more money than ever. There's more opportunities and options than ever to make.
We have people like AJ Lee who leave for a decade, come back, and are still somehow in the prime of their careers.
Yo,
right?
Looking jacked, by the way. Like, no idea. I know, she's not eating all those muffins that CM Punk is eating after these, press conferences or whatever. Because
she looks like when Randy Orton comes back for an injury and is like made out of like he's like a statue. She was ridiculous.
Yeah, she was carved up. Like,
and she's always super fit, but this is like a whole new level. Let's talk about AJ.
Let's talk about AJ.
AJ, I mean, her prime was at a very strange moment, sort of, for women's wrestling. I mean, there's a series of strange moments prior to, like, Evolution 1, I guess, or, prior to, I guess, the horsewomen in NXT, at least. And, but she was, like, hugely important. I even wrote an article for Grantland a million years ago saying, I think it was Grantland, so saying that she was, like, the new Miss Elizabeth, because she's just, like when she was doing all that stuff with Danielson and Punk, she was, like, the only thing, and people weirdly cared about her every time she was on the screen more than the two most popular wrestlers, right? I mean, and that sort of diminishes her in-ring ability and everything. I didn't mean it like that at all, but it's just like, she was just so, there's very few people who have that ability that, like, whoever they're on screen with, she's the one you're watching.
Yeah.
There's just something about her presence that it's just hard to replicate. And dude, I mean, listen, I was skeptical of, like, I expressed some skepticism on the last episode about this feud, mostly because I just don't know kind of where you go from here once you've, like, fully ensconced these 4 wrestlers as married couples. But none of that was about whether or not AJ Lee should come back. And frankly, a much more I feel much better about her return, knowing that this is a long-term deal and not just a one-off thing. Because I think, just in general, when it comes to storytelling, and when it looks at my concerns, how we sort of like evolve away from this, it's harder to do when you're doing it for spectacle, when you're doing it for that one pop. If your whole goal is to pop Chicago and then to sell tickets at WrestlePoolza, then that's a backwards way to do creative. But if there's a long-term plan involved, then maybe it could be more interesting. And listen, I even have some skepticism of my own skepticism. Seeing Punk and AJ interact on screen, and not for nothing, seeing the response they got from the crowd, maybe I shouldn't sit here worried about CM Punk's character and how this affects his, kayfabe character. Like maybe I shouldn't be worried about even Rollins and Lynch, because they have an incredible little heelish chemistry, even when they're 200 feet apart, like they were on Friday night. There's still something very connect the dots about this feud. It's like, look, it's very easy, and it's still sort of built around the return of AJ Lee. But man, watching Punk and AJ together, watching the response that she got, watching just the way they kind of posed together after the show went off the air, watching the way the crowd just like knew it was going to be AJ Lee, but still got so freaking hyped for her return. This is some pretty incredible stuff. WrestlePoolza, like, if this match, with the hype that this match is already getting, I mean, is WrestlePoolza like the biggest show of the year? This is crazy.
It's definitely one of their, I'd say it's one of their most important shows of the year. Probably the most important show of the year.
Not that they're going to fail at it, but that they're like they're pushing all the chips in to try to knock out their opponent, and it's got to really perform to justify it.
It's one part, I think, knocking out their opponent. The other part, you're putting your best foot forward on your brand new platform for ESPN. WWE's traditionally, any new platform, whether it's Netflix on Raw, Peacock, whatever, they're always going to backload that first episode, or that first, hey, we're on this network now. So you expected them to go all out for this show. But the AJ Lee, concept of it, or the AJ Lee factor of it, is interesting, because the only phrase that sort of comes to mind when I think about her is just, she was a little before her time. She was just a little before her time when she got to WWE, and
her old tag team partner Caitlyn too. I mean, Caitlyn had some skills, and they were both sitting there in kind of a void. They had some good matches together, obviously.
Yeah. We're all very WWE washed, or as the kids say, fed pilled about what the women's revolution was, or women's how much women has become a massive part of WWE. But you and I and Brian have been watching wrestling long enough to know when that necessarily wasn't the case, and the women's part of the show was what it was. And even in that era, and I never want to take away from people from the Divas era, because they were all just doing their jobs and doing what was, the best they can with what they were given. There's still a select few of women from that era that broke into the men's storylines, and AJ Lee was one of those people. So it's like, not only was she important to how women were seen on TV wrestling, and actually going out there and having like really good matches and being involved in important storylines, but she was very important to the men's storylines too. And only a handful of people really do that, like Rhea Ripley, like Chyna, Miss Elizabeth. Like, there's not a ton of people that are that entrenched in the main event scene that are women. And AJ, all you have to do is just look at the NXT roster right now, or look at the women's roster right now. Like, as much as those 4 horsewomen, like the Charlottes and the Beckys, are the OGs, like AJ Lee predates even them. So like, it's almost like even the Beckys and the Charlottes and the Baileys probably still look at AJ Lee like, oh my God, probably the same way like Seth looked at CM Punk.
Yep.
Like, I wanted to train for you. Like, in many ways, AJ Lee is the female CM Punk, except a lot more people like her, and she didn't piss off that many people on the way out. Like there's probably a little slight difference there, but as far as I remember even thinking back to. Do you remember the female pipe bomb, or I forgot what they called it, like the sheet, the the diva bomb or whatever it was, when the AJ Lee came out and was basically like, I didn't have to lay on my back to get where I was, and runs through Nikki Bella, runs through everybody, and skips around with the Divas title, and we were just like, oh yeah, that's definitely CM Punk's wife.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's definitely what he would do in this situation. So, yeah, I just feel like she was a little bit before her time. Her influence is evident
Vast.
everywhere in the wrestling industry, and she did herself all the favors in the world by looking like she has not aged a day. So it's going to be really interesting to see how she's used for the long run, and it's not just sort of this special attraction thing for ESPN. I think she's going to be very involved in this Women's Intercontinental Championship picture. I think, with Nikki Bella coming back a couple of months ago, I'm sure we'll see more, women from the past. Like, I wouldn't count out like a Paige return. I wouldn't count out a Brie Bella return. I wouldn't count out a lot of these folks coming back now because there is opportunities. I mean, you have 2 mid-card titles that need establishing, and, give it to Becky Lynch. Like, she's done a lot to help establish that pretty new title.
Mm-hmm.
And it'll be interesting to kind of see where they take it post WrestlePoolza. I don't really care who wins the match when it comes to AJ, but I do want to see how.
You mean the intergender match?
Like the mixed tag intergender, whatever they're calling it. I don't really care who wins the match, but I do care how they're gonna position her going forward, and what that means for, like, the massive.
Well, we'll talk about it. I mean, how many
they have waiting in the wings?
I mean, do you think these are all? I mean, is this AJ Lee dream matches? Like, we've heard Naomi says she wants to get a match in. She's mad that she came back when she was out, but now she's happy because she's going to be sticking around for a while.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, do you want to see AJ Lee against just everybody in the division now?
Yeah, I mean, there's a whole generation of women that look at her like an icon for them. Like, how many people? I counted no less of like 7 current women's wrestlers that had pictures themselves as kids dressed up as AJ Lee.
It's a good
like Lyra Valkyria, Roxanne Perez.
Yeah, AJ Lee had great wrestling gear for cosplay. I mean, that's
very easy, very cheap. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Easy on the parents for Halloween, light work, right?
Yeah.
So I love to see her versus Roxanne Perez. I'd love to see her versus Liv Morgan. I'd love to see her versus Julia. I'd love to see her versus a lot of these up and comers in NXT right now, like Lash Legend and Kalani Jordan and all these people. Like, she kind of fits in with everybody,
Mm-hmm.
So but hell of a response, incredible reaction, and shame on anybody who thought people were just kind of like, oh, people really care about AJ Lee. I'm like, yeah, they actually do. Like, the most viewed freaking Twitter. For the record,
that was never my take.
No, not you. I'm just saying there were folks that were just like, oh, AJ Lee was a little. I saw people comparing cage match reviews. We're looking at cage match reviews to determine what people's impact is in this. And this is exactly how some people have lost the complete plot and what this entire thing is about, right? Like, for the past several years, folks have married themselves to cage match reviews and being like, oh, This is a great rated show because they had such and such match, this, that, whatever. You can't even go back a few months ago and see if a cage match rating made any difference in people wanting to watch your show more or less. Mm-hmm. Right? And it makes and it drives the point even further home when everything your eyes are telling you is that people care about this person. This person brings interest to the show. they are launching an entirely new pay-per-view with the worldwide leader in sports and went out of their way to make sure this person's return was seen as important. Every wrestler got on Twitter or X or whatever, or Threads, and talked about how happy and how important it was that this person came back. But you know what nerds on the internet did?
What?
They went and looked up cage match reviews of AJ matches to let you know, I went onto the cage match site and I don't really think that I think she's a little overrated looking at these matches. I'm like, you idiot. You do not get this at all. Not even a little bit. And it's even disingenuous to AJ because, like we said earlier in this conversation, women's wrestling was not what it was then as it is now. They were given literal scraps. Like, what are you doing? But, man, I had to get that off my chest. You freaking cage match reviews. You
freaking nerds.
Nerds, yo. Nerds. I'm a nerd too, but I'm not that big of a nerd. Jesus Christ. I don't need a freaking website to let me know if I like the match or not. Like my eyes and my ears can tell me that. Like, was this good? Let me go see what this freaking stupid score on this website forum that.
Well, that's fine. If you're wondering if there were any great matches you should have been checking out that you weren't, that's helpful.
But you shouldn't need to you shouldn't have to go back and use it to confirm if something was good or not. Like the fact that folks are pulling up old cage match reviews of AJ matches lets you know. A lot of
wrestling fans that you mentioned earlier weren't like around when she was doing all that stuff.
Understood. And that is the point of people like us. It's like, yo, you have to understand that there is context to everything, right? Like reviews are just people's opinions about shit. And those opinions, whether you like them or don't like them, is completely your prerogative to take how you want to take. But please, I beg of you,
live how you want to live. That's your prerogative.
But I would hope that if you listen to this show or you watch wrestling the way me and Dave and Brian watch wrestling, all that type of shit, we like to provide proper context to all of these things. So you're not just looking at one thing one way to determine what you think about some match or what you think about some superstar or wrestler or what's important in the middle of a match. Like there's lots of things that factor in. Just because a match is 40 minutes and there was 30 near falls does not make it a 4.5 or 5-star match. I've seen some boring ass 40-minute matches that had 1 million finishers and 1 million kickouts, but you will see 4.5 next to it and be like, oh, that must have been a great match. I don't agree. A lot of times I can spot a match like that a mile away. I can literally turn on the show, see them do the freaking stupid standoff in the first 2 minutes, or I'm like, oh, okay, this is going to be a half-hour match. I'll bounce back and forth up until the last 10 minutes to see what we get. When they do the standoff, look at each other, I'm like, all right, this is going to be a match that's like 35 minutes. There'll be at least 30 million kickouts and near falls, whatever. And that's not to say those matches are bad. It's just, I just know star rating bait when I see it. Like it's a very easy concept. It's very easy to get people who are into that and live by that to go crazy for that type of match. There are
fair enough.
One of my favorite matches, I wasn't even a big star rating match or whatever it was. I'll say this to the cows come home. One of my favorite AEW matches of all time was John Moxley, CM Punk, when Moxley just freaking ran over Punk in like 6 minutes. And I was like, that is fucking storytelling. That is sport. That is it. That's how you do this shit. You know, like that's how you keep people entertained. But I don't know. It's y'all are easy. You're easy to get. And look at the scoreboard right now, man. Look what's happening. I'm not gonna say it. Y'all see it. Y'all know what's going on. Is any of that stuff drawn any interest, any more interest, any new interest?
Any what stuff?
That style of match, that ratings bait type of match that people will show you and say, hey, this is a good match because it went for 30 minutes. There was a million near falls. There was a million finishers that were kicked out of.
That's a successful style. Everybody enjoys that.
It's mad successful. And most cases, it is very, very enjoyable to me. But there are certain times where I just know there is ratings bait matches where I'm just like, yo, can you get more creative? Can you get more creative in a way to get me interested without doing the same old shit where I know you're going for the 5-star match. It's gonna be the 5-star epic. It's like there's more than one way to do that.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm tired of seeing matches that are the exact same way automatically be looked at as, oh, this is an instant classic, near classic, 4.5 star,
okay,
5-star.
Okay, like, you're a successful rant. Okay, yes. That's fine. But we're talking about AJ Lee here.
I'm sorry. The cage match thing just got me on a tangent. Thank you, Dave. Thanks for saving me.
So AJ's back. It's going to be AJ and Punk versus Becky Lynch and Seth Rollins at WrestlePoolza. What are you more excited about, that or Cena versus Brock Lesnar, who also made is it Canada's over, or Io Sky versus Stephanie Vaquer for the vacant Women's World Championship? Which match has got you most excited at WrestlePoolza?
That's definitely going to be the match I'm most excited for. Stephanie Vaquer versus Io Sky.
Really? Over Cena Lesnar the final time? Over the what are we going to call this? Husband and wife showdown.
Bridapalooza? I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. House of Palooza? I don't know. I think Lesnar Cena is going to be a great match. I think, with the last matches Cena has had, he's probably going to have another great bout. Like, I think that, but like, I know Stephanie Vaquer and Io Sky are going to have a phenomenal match. Like, Stephanie Vaquer has kind of been like, they've been treating her like a caged animal. I think they've just been locking her up in backstage segments, keeping her from coming out in the crowd, just like keeping her special, which I think is a very good thing, especially given the circumstances with Naomi's pregnancy. But Io Sky, the best bout machine, the best wrestler in WWE, possibly the best wrestler in the world right now. You're going to get an eye-opening match between those two, and it's for a championship. So I think that's the match I'm looking forward to the most. But yeah, I feel like since Cena's match with Punk at in overseas and Saudi, the Punk match, the Cody match, the Logan Paul match, like Sammy's match, like he's on a roll. Like he's on a roll of just like phenomenal in-ring showings. And this Brock Lesnar element of it is like, I don't know what Brock Lesnar we're going to get. Like, I think we're going to get the version of Brock Lesnar, which is, great and amazing and just like a spectacle every time he goes out there. I think him and Cena have always had spectacle type matches every single time out. I don't understand why this would be any different.
Mm-hmm.
But I just haven't seen Brock Lesnar mix it up in a long time. I have no idea how he's going to look like. It's been, 3 years? Almost 3 years since that Cody match at SummerSlam.
Jesus, has it been that long?
It's been a long time, man. So it's like, I don't know. I'd assume. I think it's going to be great. Given everything we said about AJ Lee at the beginning of the show, like, I'm not like, it's going to be a fun mixed tag match. There's no real stakes. I feel like it'll be a just fine match. No titles on the line. I'm sure Punk and AJ will come out on top. But the Lesnar Cena of it all, there's a ton of intrigue there. That's going to be the match that is going to be the headliner on ESPN. It's going to be the match probably lead Sports Center recaps the next day while you're getting ready to watch NFL football on Sunday. like that's going to be it's going to be such a weird thing to see because the ESPN factor of it airing on a Saturday night in between the end of college football that Saturday and going into Sunday night football. I mean, Sunday afternoon football the next day and NFL countdown and all that type of stuff. Like Lesnar is going to be all over that screen for that day. So
true, yeah.
That's why the intrigue is probably at the highest. But the match I'm looking forward to the most, definitely, Io and Stephanie.
Yeah.
Yo, but not too far behind. The Usos versus Braun might be another show stealer right there.
The Usos are reuniting.
Yes.
To go against the Browns, it seems. It's going to be stacked, man. It's going to be stacked. Now, hey, listen, not to be outdone. There's been a lot of matches made for All Out, which WrestlePoolza exists solely to foil.
Right.
Timeless Tony Storm called out all three opponents for this one: Jamie Hayter, Chris Statlander, and Thekla. That's going to be absolutely killer, and it's the right kind of time to do a four-way, sort of reestablish the going concerns in the division. John Moxley and Darby Allin are going to have a coffin match, it seems. MJF versus Mark Briscoe with some stipulation. Mercedes versus Rio. I know how excited you are about Rio. The Hurt Syndicate, Bobby, Shelton, and Montavious. Wait, is it just MVP? Is the full name of WWE copyright?
I think MJF is the only one that calls him Montel.
Hey, I thought it was Montavious.
I think it was
Montel.
Is it? I think it was Montavious. My bad.
No, Montel Vontavious Porter.
Montel Vontavious.
Is Vontavious a totally made up name? I think so. Anyway,
I've never met a Montavious in my life.
Vontavious. Have you met a Vontavious? So those three against Ricochet and GOA. And then Adam Copeland and Christian Cage versus FTR. Is that all that's been announced, or was there something else, Brian? Or it's been winged out? Oh no,
are we getting Kyle Fletcher?
It looks like we're gonna get Hangman versus Kyle Fletcher too, I think, right? That's gonna be absolutely sick. I mean, that's your work rate match of the century right there.
Mm-hmm. You think they should put both titles on the line, or is this only for Hangman's title?
Oh,
they should put both titles on the line. Fuck it.
They should put both titles on the line and
have Fletcher go over.
No, have Fletcher come out in like Ultimate Warrior tassels and face paint. Just like for him, this is like Hogan Warrior, but like not for anybody else. I guess
the Hangman comes out in the red and yellow cowboy boots.
Oh, I don't think he's going to do that. I think he's the last person we would ever see making a Hogan tribute. Well, one of the last. It looks like Omega's going to be out for this one. That's why he got written off TV with the injury.
Mm-hmm.
That's interesting. He was clapping back this week on Twitter. Did you see this?
Yeah.
Because people said he was taking some. I guess the report was he was taking time off, and he read that as if them saying he was taking a vacation or something. And he was like, "No, this is a scheduled medical procedure." It's like this is an appropriate interpretation of time off. Is that like you're having a surgery or something?
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand what he was accusing people of like trying to get clicks or whatever. Because with the wording, I think when you see time off, do you think? It's okay. I see time off, and I would normally assume it would be something medical or just other. I don't think it's like he's like turning his back on the company. But how it was taken? He thought that's how it was worded by just using the phrase time off. Like time off means a vacation, but no, time off means anything. Time off means like serious stuff too.
Yeah, that's not how I took
Apparently
it.
He did. Also in the clapping back about time off department, our guy Wade Barrett on SmackDown was replaced at least temporarily by Corey Graves. There were some early reports that he'd been yanked off the air and nobody knew why, and he's never coming back. And he jumped online to say, normally I wouldn't say anything about this, but I guess Corey Graves, whoever, is getting some flack. And apparently this was at he's taking several weeks off. That's been long
it wasn't
approved.
Corey Graves. No, it was.
Who was it?
The Bella Army, son. Bella Army got shooters.
Oh, they thought that he got yanked off the air because of what he said. That's a whole thing we didn't even cover.
Yeah.
So on commentary during the Becky Lynch Nikki Bella match, he was like, the women's division is different than it was when Nikki Bella was here. You know, it's come a long way.
He said something along the lines of like Nikki Bella is desperate or something, or like desperate for a win, or has something to prove.
Whatever he said, I'm sure it was not objectionable. I remember him saying some of that stuff during the match. It was just like, come on, he's painting the picture. And also the women's division is a lot better than it was when the Bellas were wrestling.
Right. I mean, but what made it a story was that like Nikki Bella like talked about it on his podcast and was like, then they made a whole thing about, oh, we spoke, and they never really made light of it. They were like, hey guys, we spoke, we had, he said this, we said that, we have great respect for each other, let's move on, sort of thing. Like, it kind of seemed like a nothing burger at first, but then you hear Wade Barrett's been taken off a commentary for the foreseeable future from. So we think
Nikki Bella did it,
and we're just like, Bella Army, son, don't, you know what I mean? Nikki Bella got shooters everywhere. Don't talk crazy about Nikki Sawa. And everybody just thought
funny.
Everybody just thought like, Nikki Bella had to make that power play call, but that is not the case, people. That is not the case. Apparently Wade Barrett had this time scheduled off for a long time. So but it looks like we're going Corey Cole, the OG2, for the foreseeable future on both shows. With I think Joe Tesk hitting back to college football for a couple of months, and Wade Barrett just being out for a little bit of time, for some scheduled time. But yeah, it goes to show you, man, like, these reports. I'm glad we don't do reports on this show. I would hate it. I would hate it if like I had to like report some shit or talk about something that I heard through the grapevine, and then a wrestler coming in and pretty much saying,
come on,
I don't know what the
Kaz.
fuck y'all talking about. Like, that's bullshit. That's why we're the lucky ones, man. We don't get called out like Sap.
We just get to report stuff as if it's uncertain, and then our listeners know whether or not we're being secretly serious.
No, that's what we do. We don't report. We speculate spiritually. This is what I want to call it. We're spiritual speculators.
Spiritual speculators?
We are spiritual speculators, guys. If I say something or you say something, sure, there's a few people out there that get the hit and they'll tweet me or they DM me or they'll send me at like, oh, you knew, motherfucker. And me personally, I think that's more fun. Like, I think that's more fun to do it that way than to just be like, for certain on Monday the 20-something, like such and such is definitely coming back. And like, that's got to be stressful, because I know for a fact, dudes will look at that report. That's got to be stressful. Dudes will look at that report like, oh, report's out. We got to come up with something different, or let's figure out something else. Let's figure out another way. Like, that really does probably affect the way people do things. And I'd much rather just be like, Easter egg, follow the crumbs. Is it there? Like, that's more fun to me. So if you listen to the show hard enough, you'll always find something. I'll say that.
Our show or WWE's show?
This show, damn it. Right. This show. I feel like we've cracked a few scoops over the years without necessarily having to be straight up Fightful or Wrestling Observer or anything like that. Like,
the real ones know.
They know. Y'all know the real insiders, baby.
Yeah.
Real graps. Yo, congratulations to MJF and Alicia Tout. They got married over the weekend.
They sure did.
Congratulations to those
couple
guys.
Of real ones right there.
Couple real ones, wedding looked phenomenal. Lots of good.
They moved the Ring of Honor show to last week because of the wedding. Can you believe that?
MJF got real motion, man. That's surreal. It's like, yo, can you move your wedding? Nah, you move your whole show. To be honest, it's no shade against Ring of Honor. Probably less people to move around than it would be for an MJF wedding.
Yeah, and it's probably tough. It's probably tough if you're a wrestler to schedule something big like a wedding, because you got your family dates here. You got to move around. Got to make sure grandma can get there, whatever. But then also there's like PLEs every weekend. Like, what do you got to do? You're not scheduling around a Ring of Honor.
No, hell no. You kidding me?
Anyway, I don't mean that. Knock on Ring of Honor. It's just the truth.
It's the truth. It's the third most important, maybe fourth most important wrestling promotion in the United States, and it's not even like, it's probably the third most important show in AEW alone. So yeah, we can tell the few hundred people that are going to be there. We're going to tape a little later. We're going to this wedding.
Big shouts to Dipperstein and Peter Rosenberg, who were there at the nuptials. We know where that's where the real power lies.
Was our invite lost in the mail? I think you pissed MJF off. I think that's why we didn't get the invite.
I talked to MJF after that. After did I ever say that on the show?
I think so. I think
right, like a couple weeks, 2 weeks after he came and ran me down on the show.
Yeah.
I called Dip We had some business to discuss.
Mm-hmm.
And he was at MJF's house.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, I'm talking to Shoemaker. And MJF was just like, hey, there was a piece of me that throughout the podcast thought that when he started really hard. And you remember he wasn't on video.
No, he
right?
wasn't on video. No.
So he started really hard. And then I felt like he sort of backed off.
Yeah.
Or he felt a little bit unsure about it. And I was just like, kind of more surprised that he backed off because I thought in my head
because he never backs off.
Well, in my head I thought that halfway through he was like, "Oh shit! I hope this is the David Shoemaker. I hope I'm not getting names confused." Right? That he was only going that hard on me because he kind of knows me.
Is that what he said?
No. But that's what my guess. And so I'm calling Dip, and he's like, "Oh, I'm talking to David Shoemaker," and he was just like, "Oh man, dude, I went really hard at him on his show a couple weeks ago. Does he not?" And I was just like, "Dude, I know it's a work or whatever." And he was like, "Good, because you're worthless," or whatever. He was like yelling at me then, like over Dipperstein's phone.
Anybody who's ever been around MJF knows that he's rarely off, but he's on. You know what I mean? If that makes sense.
Listen, do you think it was an absolute desecration of kayfabe that Tony Khan and Hangman were at his wedding? Should they have been not invited? Darby Allin?
I know there's a bunch of old geezers that that saw those pictures that probably like their brains exploded.
What do you think was more problematic? The pictures of MJF's wedding getting out with all the kayfabe shattering, or the pictures of Vince McMahon's birthday?
I saw one picture of Vince's birthday, and I already saw like 12 think pieces. So I'm thinking that's. Did you see? Oh wait,
did you see? There's more info on Vince's birthday. Did you see who performed?
I heard Jelly Roll performed.
Yes, Jelly Roll performed.
Jelly Roll performed.
Why is Vince McMahon just like, can we get Jelly Roll? Is he the only? Vince is only aware of music that appears on WWE events.
It wouldn't shock me. Yo. Jelly Roll seems like the type that would like, oh man, it would be an honor, sir. It would be fantastic. You've
been so much of my childhood. I know not everybody would say yes, but I find it hard to say no. Yeah,
but I had to do it. Do
you think Jelly Roll lost 100 pounds to wrestle, or just so Vince McMahon wouldn't make fun of him at Vince McMahon's birthday party?
That's probably why he finally got the invite. Like knowing Vince and his aversion to fat people. Like I've seen him openly groan to people like that were just, oh God, what is he doing? Like, get it together. Just always, yeah. So that's probably why. I don't know. I feel like I'd have more fun at MJF's wedding. Love weddings. These are super fun.
You would rather be at the wedding than Vince's birthday. That's not even what I asked, but I'm glad you answered it.
Yeah, I'd definitely rather go to the wedding.
Great note. This is from Wrestling Observer. It was supposed to be kept a secret, but of course it wasn't. That's why Jerry Lawler was told to take down the photos of guys posing together. The idea is that TKO doesn't want to look like Vince McMahon has anything to do with the company, and etc. Jelly Roll performed. Vince wore a producer's headset because evidently he misses his job in wrestling so much with all the wrestlers around.
He wore a producer headset?
Is that real?
There's no way that's real.
Charles Godfather Wright was another person who was at the party. Let me tell you something. We've interviewed Charles Godfather Wright. I love Godfather.
He's one of the greatest people ever. Yes.
I also will tell you, if you throw a party, I bet Charles Godfather Wright will attend if he gets the invitation. Last note was Stephanie McMahon was noted as not being there.
Okay.
You want to say anything else about that? Or
I don't. I don't. But I'll be honest. I've been to at least 2 parties that The Godfather was in attendance for, and they were both awesome. So I could only imagine.
Doesn't shock me at all.
Doesn't shock me in the least bit. But nah, congratulations to Alicia and MJF. Looked like a beautiful ceremony. And yeah. Shouts to them. And don't get your panties in a bunch because a bunch of wrestlers who pretend that they hate each other on TV were together for a real life thing. Like, it's okay. We will all survive this dark day in our history where folks took pictures at a wedding. Yes, Hangman and MJF will smile for a little bit and then probably like want to cut each other's heads open a few days later. That's how the game goes, Jack.
Do you think MJF should have worked an angle at his wedding?
Well, he worked the angle on Collision the other day. Heard Nigel. Nigel said he hates Konosuke Takeshita more than he loves his wife, loves his honeymoon, or loves his wife, or something like that. So not even a day passed.
By the way, MJF and Alicia Tout, I believe in their first ever public interaction, she interviewed him, and he referred to her as Tits McGee.
Yeah.
So just guys, single men who listen to the Masked Man show out there, take notes. This is play the heel, get the girl. That's the way it works.
That's how it always works, man. Come on now.
So yeah, that's big. I mean, but weren't you expecting, if you were to MJF's wedding, knowing how committed to the game he is, wouldn't you, on some level, expect a Cobra to jump out of a pack present or something? Just something.
All right, so I'll take this a step further in our Vince McMahon birthday MJF wedding discourse. Which WWE wrestlers do you think were at the MJF wedding that actively avoided pictures? If you had to guess. I'm guessing at least two off a rip.
I mean, Cody
clearly had to be there.
And
if
Cody's there, then Ricky Saints is probably there.
Those are my two guesses. If you had to,
and if you're inviting them, you probably got to invite Jade. I don't know if you would guess that Jade was going to be there. You got to invite all your old coworkers. Okay, listen. Either AEW is the happiest freaking family in the world. You saw those pictures with him posing with like Darby and Sammy Guevara. I mean, there's like all these like pictures that are floating around. They're either the biggest happiest family in the world, or MJF is just the most liked person in the world.
He's
both things are a little bit shocking to consider.
They're both very shocking, but he is like disturbingly like charismatic. For as much of an asshole as he is on TV, you immediately get like,
Listen, he's an really incredibly likable guy.
yeah.
But the degree to which he like is working so much of the time, you would think that there'd probably be a lot of people who are
it disarms you.
They get offended. Well, maybe that's it, because it does. Like I was never offended by what he said, by things he said to me. But you would think there'd be somebody out there. Maybe imagine there'd be somebody out there who's like, I can't tell if he really likes me or not.
That's true. That's very true. But he probably does the same thing he does to you, where he's just like, oh man, I really went hard on him. I hope he's hard. Hope he knows I was just playing or something like that later on. So you'd hope so.
Dang. Well, congratulations to them.
Did we get any wrestling and NFL crossover stuff yesterday?
Did we get any?
I feel like
it was the first full day of the new NFL season. I don't think so.
Okay,
I was gonna cold open with an NFL question and couldn't quite put my finger on what it should be.
Like who's the wrestling
what is it? Did you watch
that?
Did you watch the Bills Ravens game?
Did I? Yes. I'm sorry, Brian.
Did you lose any money on the Bills Ravens game?
No, actually. Listen, I had Derrick Henry, Lamar Jackson, and Josh Allen on all different fantasy teams. So I was happy regardless of the outcome. But my God, what a finish that was!
Brian, grab the microphone. What wrestling match would you compare that football game to? For those who didn't watch, or for those who are not in the know, Brian's Baltimore Ravens were pretty handily leading. I mean, like had control
it was
of the
40
game.
to 25 with about 9 minutes left.
And there wasn't. Game. I mean, there were fans leaving it. I mean, there were Bills fans leaving at halftime. It felt like appropriate for them to be leaving at halftime. And
I understand why they left. Derrick Henry was freaking running through them. Lamar Jackson was.
Well, it just felt like when you got Derrick Henry doing that, and Lamar, who can be a pretty, good ball protector and everything. It's like, how are they not gonna just hold serve at least? And then the Bills somehow scored how many points in those last 9 minutes? Like 19 points or whatever.
Like that. And
ended up winning on a field goal to just barely go up.
It had to be 16 unanswered points.
Brian's crying. I just want to point that out.
I'm really Henry thinking fumble, of a match.
That Derrick Henry fumble was the solo Sokoa spike in the Drew McIntyre Roman Reigns world title match.
There you go. That's exactly what it was.
Like, it was so in hand. It was like, this is Drew McIntyre's moment. He is gonna finally do it. And seeing Derrick Henry fumble a football,
it never happens.
Which, given the way he was, it wasn't just that it never happens. He was dominating those guys. Like, he was killing them. And getting that fumble at that time was Solo Sikoa jumping out in the hoodie, just spiking Drew McIntyre. Like,
oh my God, that's so uncalled for.
Happen? How the fuck did this happen? You know? And then bing, bang, boom, the MVP just pulls it out of his ass one more time and does it again.
So funny.
Acknowledge him. Would you acknowledge him yet, Brian? Do you acknowledge Josh Allen?
Josh Allen's actually my fantasy quarterback.
He's your fantasy quarterback?
Yeah. He was there. I had to take him.
You're better than me, man. There's certain folks I can't take. I can't take no Patriots.
I can't
take Mahomes.
Okay. Well, he's not, it's been rough for Mahomes the past couple of years.
Our boss, Mallory, is a huge Ravens fan too. And she took Josh with the first pick in the Ringer fantasy draft. Wow. And part of, I think, the argument was, one way or the other, I get to be happy when they play.
He was like my second because my first pick was Christian McCaffrey.
Yeah.
So I'm like, and I actually had the Ravens defense, which I'm glad I benched because I had a gut feeling it was supposed to end at 40-25.
I had the Ravens defense like an idiot, bro. Golly.
But yeah, that's the match right there. I was thinking of something else where I was like watching and somebody like almost had the title. Like I was even thinking Mark Henry, John Cena, Money in the Bank when, but nah, that solo spike, that's it. That one right there.
That's so crazy. Oh, guys. Well, did we miss anything? I missed a lot of stuff. Should we have an official segment on the show called Aleister Black Watch, where I just get to talk about my favorite wrestler, Aleister Black? I mean, he just beat up Damian Priest. He had to use a little underhanded heel tactics, but he got a clean
kicked his face clean off. Yeah.
And Damian Priest sold the hell out of it. Big props to Damian Priest.
Have you seen this Vikingo El Grande Americano thing from last night from AAA?
I saw that Grande got a outfit with a lot of Mexican flag colors on it. But what was there more to the match? I didn't see it. They brought out Vikingo to approach El Grande, and once again they were booing the shit out of Vikingo up until that Dominic Mysterio video came on the screen, and they treated him like he was Justin Bieber, dog. Like he is. Really?
Oh yeah. Vikingo is so cooked this weekend. Like if they don't put the AAA mega title on Dominic Mysterio this weekend, they might be legit riots in Las Vegas. Like that's how over that dude is. Like they gotta, even the promos he's cutting are like babyface promos. Like the only thing he says is, I'm just going to do something my dad never did. And, I'll be king of the luchadors. But everything he's saying is like, I'm going to be a champion that Mexico could be proud of. They can look at him and say, that's my champion. And obviously he's saying all this in Spanish or whatever. But I'm like, Dom might be like the Cody Rhodes of AAA, right? Like they love him over there. Like but
they're still cheering ironically to some degree too, right?
Nah. It's not that they're cheering ironically. They are cheering him and they are booing the ever-loving shit out of Vikingo anytime. And it almost looks like it's getting to Vikingo too. Like the language barrier might be a little there, but you can kind of tell that maybe he's sort of leaning into the heel.
He's had enough.
Yeah, like he's I don't know. Like I gotta watch it again, and it was subtitled, but the way he was leaning into the words, I was like, is he like healing it up now? Like is he he has to at this point? Like nobody's, I don't speak fluent Spanish, but I'm like, yeah, I don't think these people like you very much.
Well, Meltzer went through the whole booking committee down there, and there's a lot of, it's a big booking committee. Like, there's no way they're not having those conversations just like they would if that were happening here.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, for sure. They have to. They're like, yeah, we're just going to roll with this, and that's kind of the only thing that's making me wonder, like, all right, well, Are they going to make Vikingo an even bigger star as this guy who keeps beating Dominic Mysterio for the Mega Championship? Or are they just going to be like, yeah, that's the best thing for this company and for Dom and for just this entire investment is putting the biggest championship they have on their biggest Latin star and having him go into War Games with 2 titles in November, in this hometown of San Diego. Like
that's crazy.
That's got to be the play. You know what I mean? Like, and
crazy
hell,
to
like,
think about though.
If we might get if this doesn't lead to Ray versus Dom for the AAA Mega Championship, like in San Diego, like what are we doing? But Kingo, you're great. AJ, you're great. El Grande Americano, you're better than anyone expected. But this has to lead to some sort of Ray versus Dom thing at Survivor Series in San Diego for the AAA Mega Championship. That's my humble opinion.
You might not. You might be right. You might be right. Grande Americano is crazy. I mean, it's just the arc is crazy. If you tried to explain this, like the Wikipedia page for El Grande Americano might be more confusing than the one for Mystico or the various Sin Caras, how they intertwine with each other and you can't figure it out. I mean, just imagine how this was conceived and where it is now. Like Chad Gable doing a deliberately problematic gimmick is now the most overt act in Mexico as being played by someone else. It's just weird. Anyway, so we'll probably see a lot of Grande Americanos tonight. Can AJ fight back by having an army of other AJs?
She'd have a few. She'd have what?
No. AJ, I mean AJ Styles.
AJ Styles. Oh. Gosh,
that would be funny if AJ Lee came out in his defense and it was just like, wait, which AJ is which?
But wait, who? What?
That would be great though if we got like a bunch of like little, well-built white dudes from NXT and put them in, because AJ Styles' wig and beard would be the easiest thing to mimic, right? Because he's not wearing a wig, but his hair is like very wiggy and his beard is like very dyed and like lined, whatever. Like that's just like you could do that with some marker. You
have to go with the V1 AJ hair, like when they had like a little bit of the Karen thing going on when he first got to WWE.
Do different eras of AJ or whatever, because all the Grandes are a little bit different.
There you go.
Oof, this is some booking I can get behind. Raquel Rodriguez, who is everybody's new favorite wrestler ever since Kevin Nash put the fear of God in her, she's become incredible. Is going up against
Kevin Nash might be the Hakeem Olajuwon of big men.
That is the perfect comparison.
Just send all your big men to Kevin Nash.
There's a Kevin Nash big man camp in Houston, and you just kind of work on your post moves a little bit.
Yeah. We'll all know if he didn't go to the camp too, because they'll let us know.
Yeah,
and they'll be like, "Yeah, bro, he's not using that hook shot, man. He's got to go learn from Kareem, learn from Hakeem."
That's so funny.
He's not using that big boot, man. Go learn from Diesel.
Jimmy and Jay are scheduled to appear on Raw. AJ Lee is scheduled to appear on Raw. Like as mentioned, we have Grande Americano versus AJ Styles, 2 absolute legends of the business going head to head. I'm guessing we're probably going to get some CM Punk and Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch as well if AJ Lee's going to be there. I just thought, as big as that return was on Friday, I mean, I can't imagine. I was shocked even at the level of crowd response, as cool as that was. So excited that she's going to be around. But the staging for that bit was so good. To have 4 people, and it's 2 married couples. This is like, it's not the newlywed game. We got to come up with something to call this. But to have two married couples with the, like, 99 times out of 100, whoever's produced this segment would have had the married couple standing side by side, but it was brilliant that they didn't. That's really like 4 people, like literally Seth Rollins is in the audience for no reason other than to isolate the 4 people involved.
Yeah. It was like whoever did the stage managing of that.
It was so smart. And Becky Lynch gets to be like all the shots of Becky Lynch's face when AJ comes out would have been so much less meaningful. And maybe it's just in the margins, but it really makes a difference if Seth Rollins was behind her doing the same face. So we got a fan footage of people of Seth in the stands and CM Punk rooting on the outside of the ring and whatever. AJ got to parade around with the belt after the match and everything and do her pose. Oh my God. It was so good, man.
It was done really well. Definitely.
It was just, everything was perfect. Dang. I think that's it. I think that's Monday.
AJ Lee just, and as we're wrapping up, she just put out her very first tweet in about 4 months, said, "You had my back for a decade. This run is for you, my wonderful weirdos." End tweet.
Wow.
AJ Lee, welcome back, man. Should be fun.
Absolutely.
Let's see what you got.
Oh, man. I think it's going to be good. I really think it's going to be good. I just can't believe it. She might have the most run in her. She might have more run in her left than Punk or Cena.
Well, she looks in better shape than
she
both
was younger
of them,
than both of them.
That is true. Yeah, she's not even 40 yet. I think she's 37, 38. Like,
she's definitely more jacked than when she was a wrestler. But that's how Punk came back too.
Yeah.
So maybe they share a trainer. Anyway, that's the Masked Man show. Kaz, you want to get your plugs in?
Catch my podcast, Say Hello to Kaz, Loki, and Rosie on my page, youtube.com/Kazeem. And that's it. No 7 p.m. in Brooklyn until season 3, starting in October. Congratulations to my man, my brother Carmelo Anthony, being inducted to the Hall of Fame this weekend.
Oh, yeah.
Fantastic weekend in Springfield, Massachusetts. And that's all I got. That's all I'm plugging.
Well, thank you, man. Thanks to our producer, Brian H. Waters. Thanks to our EP, Ben Cruz. Thank you all for listening. Finn Balor's going to be okay. Boo your mama. We'll see you back here on Thursday, humanoids.
Peace.